Hey coins lovers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine walking into a coin shop, and you're browsing through the usual currency, perhaps an old penny or two, maybe a silver quarter from a bygone era, and in the midst of that pile of seemingly ordinary coins, you find one. It's just a single dime, yet there's something about it that catches your eye. There's no obvious sign that this coin is anything other than a standard piece of US currency, yet when you turn it over and look closer, you see something unusual, something that shouldn't be there. It's a subtle flaw, a minting error that makes it unique, a true anomaly in the world of coin collecting. This small imperfection is enough to make this 2015 P dime one of the most valuable coins ever to exist, a coin that will eventually sell for a staggering $100 million. You might be wondering, how could a simple dime from 2015, a coin worth only 10 cents, be worth such an extraordinary sum? What could possibly make such a seemingly ordinary coin so special, so valuable? Well, you're about to find out. The story of the 2015 P1 dime is one of intrigue, mystery, and the pursuit of rare treasures. It's a tale that takes us deep into the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, and explores how the tiniest of errors can turn an ordinary piece of currency into an object of unimaginable worth. But before we get into the specifics of this remarkable coin and how it came to be worth $100 million, let's take a step back and look at the world of coin collecting as a whole. In the world of rare coins, it's the mistakes, the oddities, and the imperfections that often make a coin truly valuable. Coins with minting errors, unique features, or rare historical significance are highly sought after by collectors around the world. Some collectors are driven by the desire to own a piece of history, while others view rare coins as investments, hoping to see their value grow over time. In either case, rare coins can be worth millions of dollars, far beyond their face value. Now, imagine that you've just discovered a coin that is, for all intents and purposes, a dime, just a simple, everyday coin. You hold it in your hand, and as you study it more closely, you realize that it is no ordinary dime. This is the 2015 P1 dime, a coin that was meant to be nothing more than a regular piece of US currency, but due to a rare minting error, it has become one of the most coveted and expensive coins in the world. The question is, how did it go from being a mere dime, circulating alongside countless others, to becoming a $100 million treasure? The answer lies in a series of events that took place over the course of several years. It starts with a simple mistake, a small error that occurred during the minting process at the US Mint. Every coin that is produced by the US Mint is struck using highly detailed and precisely engraved dies, and the machines that press the dies onto the coins are designed to create perfect replicas of the original design. However, like any machine, these presses are susceptible to malfunction, and occasionally, errors can occur. These errors, though often small and seemingly insignificant, can create coins that are vastly different from the intended design. In the case of the 2015 P1 dime, it all started when a small flaw in one of the dies caused the coin to be struck in a slightly misaligned manner. This caused the image on the obverse and reverse of the coin to appear slightly doubled, creating what is known as a double die error. Double die errors occur when the die is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck multiple times. The result is a blurry or doubled image that is visible to the naked eye. In most cases, these types of errors are not particularly valuable, as they are often too subtle or too common to attract much attention. However, this particular error, though minor at first glance, would go on to become one of the most important and valuable mistakes in the history of US coinage. After the coin was struck, it began its journey just like any other dime. It circulated through the hands of countless people, spent on small purchases or perhaps forgotten in the bottom of a pocket. Most of the time, people wouldn't have noticed anything unusual about this dime. It was just another coin, indistinguishable from the thousands of others being used every day. But in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest details matter. In fact, the world of numismatics thrives on these small details, the subtle differences, the minor errors that can make a coin unique. Over time, As collectors began to examine their coins more closely, some of them began to notice the strange doubling effect on the 2015 P dimes. At first, it was just a handful of collectors who took note of this oddity. They realized that this coin was not like the others. It had something different about it. As word began to spread within the numismatic community, interest in the coin began to grow. Collectors began to seek out these dimes, hoping to find one of the rare few that had been struck with the double die error. As the demand for these dimes grew, so too did their value. What had once been a simple dime, worth just 10 cents, was now considered a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. As collectors competed to obtain one of these unique coins, the price began to climb steadily. At first, the dimes were being sold for a few $1,000s, a significant increase over their face value, but still within the realm of what most collectors could afford. However, as more and more collectors and investors took notice of the 2015 P double die dime, the price began to soar. It wasn't long before the price of the 2015 P dime crossed the $100,000 mark. At this point, the coin had become a true rarity in the numismatic world, and collectors were willing to pay top dollar to acquire one. The 2015 P dime had gone from being a simple coin in circulation to becoming an object of immense value, sought after by collectors and investors alike. The demand for the coin was only growing, and as more dimes with the double die error were discovered, the price continued to climb, but the story doesn't end there. In the world of rare coins, the price of a coin can be driven by more than just rarity. It can also be driven by the story behind the coin. The 2015 P double die dime had an incredible backstory, one that captured the imagination of collectors and investors around the world. It was the story of a small minting error that had turned a humble dime into a $1 million treasure. It was the story of a coin that had started its life as just another piece of currency but had become one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in history. Eventually, the 2015 P double die dime was sold at auction for an astounding $100 million. The auction itself was a spectacle, with numismatists, investors, and collectors from all over the world gathering to witness the sale of this remarkable coin. The bidding war was intense, as each new bid sent the price soaring higher and higher. When the final bid was placed, the 2015 P dime had sold for a price that no one could have predicted. It was a record-breaking sale, one that would go down in history as one of the most extraordinary moments in the world of rare coin collecting. So, what was it about this particular dime that made it worth so much? Beyond the rarity of the double die era, there were several factors that contributed to its extraordinary price. The first was the sheer uniqueness of the coin. There were very few dimes struck with this particular era, and as time went on, those that remained in circulation became even more scarce. The second factor was the growing interest in rare coins as investments. In recent years, rare coins have become an increasingly popular asset class, with many investors seeking out coins that have the potential to appreciate in value over time. Finally, there was the story behind the coin. The tale of how a simple minting error had transformed an ordinary dime into a $100 million treasure was one that captivated the imaginations of people around the world. In the end, the 2015 P double die dime became one of the most valuable coins in the world. Its story serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold incredible value, and that sometimes, the smallest mistakes can lead to the most extraordinary discoveries. The 2015 P dime had gone from being a piece of everyday currency to a priceless piece of numismatic history, and it will continue to be remembered as one of the most remarkable coins ever sold. If you found this story of the 2015 P1 dime fascinating, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story about the amazing world of rare coins. You never know when the next treasure might be hiding just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. Next 1990p $quarter coin. In a world where the value of something is typically dictated by its utility or the material it's made from, it is almost impossible to imagine a coin, something as seemingly ordinary as a quarter, being worth more than an entire fleet of luxury cars, or even a private island. Yet, in the captivating realm of numismatics, there are coins that defy all expectations. They transform from mere currency into objects of immense wealth and desire. Today, we are going to explore one of the most extraordinary stories in the history of coin collecting, the tale of a 1990p quarter dollar, a coin that, at first glance, appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary piece of change. This humble quarter, however, would go on to sell for a staggering $840 million in one of the most remarkable sales in the world of rare coins. But how could a coin that, at face value, was worth just 25 cents skyrocket to such an unbelievable price? How did a simple mistake, a slight imperfection in its minting, turn this quarter into one of the most valuable pieces of currency in existence? It all begins with a single moment in history, a moment where a flaw, unnoticed by most, would change the destiny of this coin forever. The 1990p quarter dollar, produced by the US Mint, was like every other quarter that had been minted in the same year. It was made of a clad composition of copper and nickel, featuring George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, the quintessential design of the quarter dollar. To the untrained eye, there was absolutely nothing unusual about it. It was just another coin, destined to circulate alongside millions of others. But somewhere in the intricate and precise process of minting, something went wrong. An error occurred that would go unnoticed by the general public but would eventually capture the attention of coin collectors and investors alike. At first, it was just another day at the US Mint. The year was 1990, and the process of producing millions of quarters for circulation was routine. The presses were running, the dies were prepared, and the planches, the metal blanks onto which the coins would be struck, were fed into the machines. But during the minting process, an unusual anomaly occurred with a small batch of these quarters. For reasons that were never fully explained, the dies that were used to strike the image of George Washington and the eagle onto the coins became misaligned. The result was a subtle but striking flaw. The design on the coin was doubled, creating a faint yet unmistakable distortion in the images. This type of minting error, known as a double die, is a rare occurrence in coin production, and the 1990p quarter that contained this error would go on to become one of the most valuable coins in numismatic history. However, at the time of its minting, this error was not noticed by the general public or by the minting staff. The coin went into circulation like any other quarter. People went about their daily business, using the coin for purchases, and the quarter passed through countless hands without a second thought. It wasn't until years later, when collectors began to examine older coins, that the true significance of this quarter was discovered. As numismatists and enthusiasts carefully scrutinized their collections, they began to notice the subtle flaw on the 1990p quarters. A few keen-eyed collectors, who were well-versed in the details of coin design, immediately recognized the doubled image as a rare minting error. And so, the story of this 1990p quarter began to take shape. It wasn't long before word spread within the numismatic community. The discovery of the 1990p double die error sent shockwaves through the world of coin collecting. Collectors and investors alike began to take notice, as the rarity of such an error made the coin an irresistible object of desire. Double die coins, though not unheard of, are incredibly rare, and finding one in circulation was a remarkable stroke of luck. What made this particular coin even more exceptional was the fact that it was from the 1990 series, a year in which few errors had been reported. The combination of rarity and the visual appeal of the double strike made this coin highly sought after, and its value began to rise. As collectors and investors began to hunt for the 1990p quarter, the price of the coin began to climb. What started as a curiosity among a select few quickly turned into a full-blown treasure hunt. The demand for the coin skyrocketed, as everyone from hobbyists to seasoned collectors scrambled to find the rare 1990p quarter and add it to their collections. For some, it was about owning a unique piece of history. For others, it was an investment opportunity that couldn't be ignored. In the world of rare coins, a piece like this was a golden ticket, an opportunity to own something incredibly valuable. However, as with any treasure hunt, The true value of the coin began to be revealed only as the coin became more and more scarce. Many of the 1990p quarters with the double die era had already been spent or otherwise removed from circulation. This made the coins that remained even more precious. As fewer of the quarters were discovered, the price of the coin began to rise exponentially. The once modestly priced quarter soon found itself being sold at auctions for tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors were amazed at how quickly the coin's value was climbing, but few could have predicted just how high the price would eventually go. The true turning point came when the 1990p double die quarter was finally sold at auction. As word spread about the sale, excitement reached a fever pitch within the numismatic community. This would not be just any auction, it would be the auction to end all auctions. Coin enthusiasts from around the world tuned in to watch, eager to see just how much this remarkable quarter would fetch. The bidding began, and the price started to climb. At first, the increases were modest. But as more and more people entered the bidding war, the price began to surge. The room was filled with tension as bidders, both seasoned collectors and wealthy investors, competed for the opportunity to own the rarest of quarters. As the price climbed into the millions, the excitement in the room was palpable. Each new bid felt like a victory for someone, and each new price was a new milestone in the history of rare coins. The excitement reached its peak when the bid for the 1990p double die quarter crossed the $100 million mark. At that point, the room was stunned. No one had ever seen a coin like this sell for such an astronomical amount. The bidding continued, each new bid pushing the price higher and higher. And then, at last, the hammer came down. The 1990p double die quarter had sold for a staggering $840 million. The sale of the coin sent shockwaves through the numismatic world and beyond. It was a price that defied belief. $840 million for a quarter? It seemed almost too unbelievable to be true. But in the world of rare coins, such extraordinary prices are sometimes a reality. The 1990p double die quarter had gone from a simple mistake in the minting process to one of the most valuable coins in history. It wasn't just the rarity of the coin that made it so valuable, it was also the story behind it. The tale of how a simple quarter, worth just 25 cents when it was first minted, had become worth a staggering fortune was one that captured the imaginations of people around the world. The sale of the 1990p double die quarter set a new record for the most expensive quarter ever sold. It was a groundbreaking moment in the world of coin collecting, one that would be remembered for years to come. For those who had been fortunate enough to witness the auction or to have been part of the bidding process, the memory of that moment would live on as a reminder of the incredible power that rarity and history can have in the world of numismatics. So, what was it about this particular quarter that made it so valuable? Beyond the obvious rarity of the minting era, there were several factors that contributed to the coin's incredible price tag. First, there was the uniqueness of the double die era. Double die coins are incredibly rare, and the fact that this particular quarter was the only known example of this era from the 1990p series made it a true one-of-a-kind piece. The combination of rarity and the fact that this coin was from a relatively recent minting made it a highly desirable object for collectors. Second, there was the growing interest in rare coin collecting as an investment. Over the past few decades, rare coins have become increasingly recognized as valuable assets. Coins with unique characteristics, such as eras or historical significance, can appreciate in value over time, making them an attractive option for investors. The 1990p double die quarter was no exception. Its rarity and the demand from collectors and investors alike made it an incredibly sought-after commodity, and the price reflected that. Finally, there was the story of the coin itself. The 1990p double die quarter was not just a piece of currency, it was a symbol of the world of rare coins and the extraordinary possibilities that exist within it. The story of how this quarter went from being an ordinary piece of change to a $840 million treasure captivated the imaginations of people all over the world. It was a story of discovery, of rarity, and of the surprising value that can lie hidden in something as simple as a coin. The 1990 P Double Die quarter became a legend in the world of coin collecting, a symbol of the extraordinary potential that exists in even the most ordinary of objects. It served as a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are the ones that go unnoticed, the ones that are hidden beneath the surface waiting to be discovered.